Hey guys, welcome back to Made for More. We are so excited to be back with another
episode.
And we didn't wait a while.
We didn't. Like this is like the actual time we're supposed to be doing this.
Which is surprising because we are both so busy right now, but we actually found a time. Literally, it's so funny. I literally came after work because this is the only time I'm available, and our schedules just very don't align that much.
They don't align at all. Actually, the only days we have are like Fridays.
We have this conjoint calendar, a little off topic. We have this conjoint calendar where we put in our stuff of when we can hang out, and it every single day we have something.
Every day's booked, and it's when I have time open in between classes, she's in class, and when she has time open, I'm in class or I'm doing something.
But
But God makes a way.
Yes, and it's just a season of our lives, which is we're kind of gonna talk about.
Yeah. Speaking of busyness.
Yeah.
In chaos.
A lot of chaos.
Today we're gonna focus on just staying focused on your relationship with God in the midst of chaos, in the midst of being busy, and just really maintaining your relationship with Him through that.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy, the timing of this, because Cadence and I are both in that season right now. They may look totally different for both of us, but we're both so busy, and it's kind of honestly a test to our relationship with the Lord, because it's are you going to keep your relationship and prioritize it while you're still busy with all these other things?
Yeah, and two, we were having a hard time kind of figuring out something to even talk about today, but I had recently went out to eat with a bunch of friends, and they were saying one thing they really just need prayer for right now is just busyness, in the stress of busyness, and also just life in general. And I feel like this is something a lot of people are needing right now, because it's really hard when you're busy and you're doing school or you're working or whatever it may be, in maintaining your relationship with God.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people, including we're all human, we're gonna make mistakes, but I think a lot of us, when we get in these busy situations, we tend to keep God in the back of our mind, and we kind of be okay, I have all this, and then I'll squeeze in some time for Him later, or oh, if I don't get to today, that's okay, if I didn't talk to Him, that's fine. But it's I think we kind of have to shift our mindset from that a little, because and people can say this is a hot topic, but you're never too busy to spend time with the Lord. And that's period. You are never too busy to even talk to the Lord. You have so many opportunities, but I think we make excuses that we're so busy that we just don't spend time with the Lord.
Yeah, but we're really excited for this one. We don't have any points for you today, but we have a lot we want to talk about that we feel is just really needs to be brought up, and also to just things that I think are important to acknowledge that aren't necessarily talked about enough when it comes to busyness and stuff and just chaos of life.
Yeah, we have a lot. It's kind of all over the place.
So bear with us.
Yeah.
We'll try our best to make sense.
We're just yappers, so if we'll be on the topic.
We literally said it. We're just gonna flow.
Yeah, we're just gonna flow. Go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow with us.
Exactly. just
yeah.
No points this time.
No points. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So we've talked about before, when you're walking in the wilderness, or when you're going through times you don't understand, spiritual warfare, stuff like that. But today we really just want to focus on when you're just going through a hard season, and focusing your eyes on God through that.
Yeah, and one of the main stories, I know everybody in if you grew up in church, this is a story that's told a lot in churches, just because it's really relatable, and a lot of people can relate to this. But it's when Jesus is walking on the water, and I really love this. I'll read a little bit of it just so y'all can get the context of it. But it's in Matthew 14 verses 24 through 31, and it talks about just background. The disciples were in trouble, and they were far away from the Lord, and so the Lord, in order to get to the disciples, had to walk on water. And so it says, Jesus came towards them walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!" But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage, I am here." Then Peter called to him, Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water. Yes, come, Jesus said. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water towards Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and waves, he was terrified and began to sink. Save me, Lord, he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. You have so little faith, Jesus said. Why did you doubt me? And this is just, oh, like, it gives me, like, just the chills every time because it's like, Peter's telling the Lord, like, or Jesus, like, hey, like, if this is you, like, if you really are, like, walking on water, tell me to come. And what's so crazy about this is Peter stepped out in faith because Jesus said to come. So he steps out of the boat, and mind you, like, he's walking in a storm. But the whole time his eyes were on Jesus. But the moment he looked away, that's when he began to sink.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so many of us, like, that happens when we're literally in real life. Like, there's so many times where we get so busy and we're in this huge storm and we can say, like, yes, like, Jesus, like, I trust you, and all this stuff. But then we look to the left and we look to the right and we see depression, we see anxiety, we see all these things.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Cadence before this. I think it's so crazy because the closer Peter got to Jesus, like, he started to sink and started to doubt. And it's like, that's when our faith begins to get tested, is when we're going through these hard things and we're walking through a storm and we choose to look away.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. Like, Peter could have easily kept his eyes on Jesus, but he chose to look away, which made his faith dwindle.
Yeah, and I think too, especially when it comes to like God calling us into certain seasons, because usually when God's calling us into certain seasons, they're not seasons we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And it's because if we're stepping out of our comfortability, we're growing.
Right.
Like if we stayed in our comfortability, we wouldn't grow.
Yeah.
But in these seasons where God calls us into that uncomfortability and we step out in that faith, like that's when like it's truly tested. And even like me, I'm going through a season like that where like God called me into a season and I was like, oh, that's scary. But there is something about walking out in faith, like just by taking that step and trusting God in what He's leading you in, that you get a sense of peace and you also get, you just know you're in God's will. Like when you're in God's will, there's a piece of where it's like, it doesn't matter what else is going on around you, that you know you're in God's will. But also, too, it means you have to stay in that peace because just like she said, it's a choice. Like because as much as I have going on around me, like I could very easily be like, oh, this, and then fall. Like, but it's focusing on the fact that you're staying in God's will, in that He's given you peace, and you have to be okay with that peace. Like I think sometimes we look for other kinds of peace, like it's in those seasons. That's what the enemy wants from you, to look around and be like, oh, you can get peace from this. Like, this is where your comfort's at. But God's trying to get you to step out of your comfort.
Yeah, and I think it's so easy, like, to, like, we can all say, yeah, if we were Peter, like, oh, I could take that step. Like, yeah, the first step is always, like, usually pretty easy. Like, you can take that first step, but it's maintaining that.
Yeah.
Like, you constantly have to be walking towards Jesus. And, like, just like Peter, the moment he stopped, he sank. And so I think it's, like, in these busyness seasons, like, of course, like, I'm in the same exact boat. Like, there's so many times where I could just choose to look to my left and look to my right and stop walking the path that Jesus called me to walk. But it's also like sometimes my mind, I have to think about Jesus carrying that cross.
Yeah.
And like I'd have to daily pick up my cross and follow him. It's not like I can't just stop and like take a water break. It's like you have to constantly be following the Lord because that's where you're going to find that peace, like Cadence was saying. Like you're not going to find peace in just like other people's faith. Like I can't like keep my faith off of Cadence's. Like it has to be your own and just keep walking.
Yeah, and to like talking about this, it reminds me of when it's the Israelites, right? When they're walking in the desert, and Moses is leading them, and they had to step out of their comfortability, but that was God's will for them, and God had so much planned out for them. But it was the moment they started allowing the people around them to talk and be like, "Oh, we just need to go back to what we know."
Yeah.
But they didn't know that God had so much in store for them. God had literally put a cloud over them to protect them, to lead them, like a cloud of light, like of like fire to lead them in the night, like, and God provided everything for them that they needed to and to step out into his will, but it's once they started looking at what was comfortable and what they wanted to go back to because they didn't know what was coming. But they didn't know that God had so much in store for them.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me like to the verse where it's Psalms 23, and it just says, "The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams." And I think sometimes like we forget that like the Lord is literally our shepherd. Like when you think of a shepherd leading his sheep and his flock, like he doesn't lead them, he guides them.
Yeah.
I think so often we forget to look at him and allow him to guide us, and we can get so caught up in just trying to be go 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 that we forget who's leading us. And sometimes we like lead astray and our shepherd isn't the Lord. And that's when we begin to follow a different path that's not from the Lord. And no wonder you don't feel peace because you're not with the right shepherd. You're not looking up and like reminding yourself that the Lord actually has been guiding you this whole time and he has a plan for you and he has a future. But it's when you look at the world and you start following those people and you start following a new flock is when you start to go downhill.
Yeah. In Psalm 46, 1 through 2, it says, God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. So we will not fear when earthquakes come and the mountains crumble into the sea. And like I think a key word in that is that he's our refuge. Like I think sometimes we try so hard to deal with things on our own. Like and we don't understand that we can find rest in him. Like we focus on the fact that we have so much weight on us. So it literally says in the Bible that like his yoke is easy and his burden is light. And we were never meant to deal with our burdens on our own. We were never meant for them to be our burdens. Like in God knows what we're going through. He's not asking for us to go through it on our own though. He wants us to surrender that to him.
Yeah, and I actually had kind of like a moment with the Lord, I think like 2 days ago. I was kind of just like on my knees and I was just like begging God. I was like, God, like I don't understand why I'm going through this season. Like, Lord, like I just need you to come. Like, Lord, let me see something. Let me see your face. Let me like, would you just come into this room? And I was still being go go go. Like I was still trying to force everything into my relationship with God. And then all of a sudden I just heard his voice and he was like stop begging and just rest at my feet. And I remember like hearing that in my mouth. Like I was like dang. I was like, he called me out. And so I remember hearing that and I was like, why am I trying to like beg the Lord like to like give me answers when I can literally just rest at his feet? Like there's so often I think we try like when we're going through these seasons like to be like, Lord, like take my burden, take this, take that, but we're not laying at his feet and allowing him to just give us peace and give us just calmness that we haven't felt. And I remember specifically laying down just feeling so just content. And so like that's the first time I felt rest in 2 months. And I just recommend like everybody, like if you're listening like and you're so busy and you're just wanting to feel God's presence, the most powerful way is not just by like being at church and like doing all like yes those are great, but also just his feet, like resting at that. You will feel his presence like not in a like boom pow fireworks way, but in just a peace. And that's really all you need.
In Isaiah 26, I can't see. Isaiah 26:3 it says, "You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you." And all whose thoughts are fixed on you. And I think the important thing to notice in that is it says all of those who trust in you. And those whose thoughts are fixed on you. And going back to the choice, like we have to be the ones to trust in him. This is like a thing where it's like you will not have this peace if you do not trust in him. You will not have this peace if your thoughts are not fixed on him. Because how are you supposed to even know what peace is if you're not even focused on God? God is literally the Prince of Peace. Like, how are we supposed to fully understand what peace even is and find true rest if we're not even allowing ourselves to dwell and rest in the presence of God?
I think rest is just like, it's not just sleeping. Like, it's not, like, it's so serious. Like, it's not, people are like, oh, yeah, like, I just need rest. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a nap. It's like, no, like, spiritually, you need that too. Like, I think so often we can just feel like, oh, like, if I go to church, that's, like, doing enough. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this and that. But it's like, rest is something that, like, Jesus doesn't take lightly. Like, that's something
Yeah.
that he wants us to do and take rest in him. And I had a verse. Where is it? Psalms 56, where it says, verse 3, it says, when I'm afraid, I will put my trust in you. I praise God for what he has promised. And I think talking about for what he has promised, a lot of us don't go to the Lord when we're in the midst of chaos because we doubt the promises he made to us and we
Yeah.
doubt all these things. But it's like, no, like, we need to be going to the Lord and, like,
Yeah.
trusting that the thing he promised us, even before the chaos happened, when we were in the calm, he can still do that when we're go, go, go.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people kind of fix your eyes off of the Lord because we doubt him. But it's like, no, like Hans was saying, we need to put our trust in him because he is almighty. He is the God who heals. He is the God who sees, but it's all about our faith too.
Yeah, and I think too, like when it comes to things like this, we say a lot. It's a big thing to say that, like, oh, I know God has a plan for me. Like, I trust that he has a future for me, blah, blah, this and that. Like, he created my future, blah, whatever it may be. But but do you?
Yeah.
Like, are your actions showing that? Because we can know that God has a plan for us. We can know that he has a future for us, but sometimes we keep trying to take control of what God is wanting control of us. Like, we're saying we're trusting, but are we really trusting if we keep trying to take that control from God?
Yeah. And it's so important, specifically, like, when you are thinking, like, oh, like Haynes was saying, where it's like, do we really trust that the Lord has a plan for us? And that it's so important to come to God purely and tell him how you feel. Like, don't just try to hide that you've been doubting this. Like, don't be like, oh yeah, God, everything's great, like, I trust you. But God wants honesty and he wants your pure heart. And so when you're feeling like, Lord, like, I don't understand, tell him that. Because it's not just like this way, like talking to God, like talking to, if I'm talking to Cadence, like, that's not me talking to Cadence to get to God. Like, I need to tell God how I feel so that we can, like, figure it out.
Yeah, and it's not to let him know how we feel, because he already knows.
Yeah.
Like, let's be so for real. Like, he is our creator.
It's waiting for you.
Oh,
just say it.
Yeah, literally, he's our creator. He's the one who made our mind. He's the one who made every crevice of us.
Literally.
Like, he knows every feeling we have because he created them. And for us to try and act like, God, I'm doing good, like, he's like, let's be honest here. I know you're not. But it's not the fact of letting God know, because he already knows. It's the fact of surrendering it at his feet.
Yeah, and obviously, like we talk about all the time, God's a God of choice. So obviously you have to be the one to be honest with him. Like him saying, he knows you. It literally says in Psalms 139, he formed you in your mother's womb. Like, that's how much he knows you. But yet again, we can try to cover it up and like say all these things.
Yeah. In 2 Corinthians 4:16, I found this verse the other day, and like, this is something I've really been holding on to, even just in the season I'm in, because like, I think it really just speaks a lot to it. It says, that is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. For our present troubles are small and won't last very, very long. Yet they produce for us the glory that vastly outweighs them and will forever. So we don't look at the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on things that cannot be seen. For the things we see now will soon be gone, but the things we cannot see will last forever. And I think it's so important that we fix our heart onto this.
Yeah.
Like, the fact of, we're going to go through hard stuff, but that's also like part of pursuing God.
Yeah.
Like, part of pursuing God is suffering with him.
For sure.
Like, but it's knowing that like when we're walking in God's will, when we're suffering for him, it's all for a purpose, and it's all for what will be coming and not what
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they go through seasons like this, they think that this is permanent.
Yeah.
And that like this season of our life like is never going to get better. That the Lord, like, oh, Lord just wants me to be depressed. The Lord wants me to do these things. Like, no. Like, in every season that you go through, it's intentional. And the Lord has a reason that like you're going through this. And it's so important while we're walking through these seasons to, I think we can easily just fix our eyes on the now, but not in the like future. And what does God want me to do with this, and where is God taking me? Because it's really all about our mindset when we're walking through chaos. Like, is your mind focused on God and what he's calling you to, or is it focused on like being frustrated with God and being mad at him? And let me tell you, like, whichever choice you make is how your season goes.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about like, are you choosing to find joy in chaos, or are you choosing to find nothing?
Yeah. And then too, like I think another part we wanted to talk about in this is like laziness.
Yeah.
Like because it truly does. It all comes back down to a choice. Like it all comes down to our perspective. It all comes down to our heart posture and everything. And like it takes hard work.
Yeah,
Like
it's not
that's
easy.
just what it is. Like
Yeah,
it takes hard work, and we can't be lazy with it.
for sure.
In Proverbs, that's not Proverbs. Give me a second. I'm finding it. In Proverbs 26:15-16, it says, wait, nope. It's 14-15. It says, as a door swings back and forth on its hinges, so the lazy person turns over in bed. Lazy people take food in their hand, but don't even lift it to their mouth.
Yeah.
And, like, first off, the first time I read this, like, now every time I turn my bed, I'm like, oh, okay, time to get up.
Yeah.
But also to the fact of it saying that like lazy people take the food but don't even lift it up to their mouth.
Yeah.
Like you can sit there and starve and literally have it right in front of you. Like, and that all comes back to like our relationship with God. It's right in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of times people say like, I'm running, like, no, God's running after me or something like that. Like, no, he's not. He's been right there the whole time. You're the one who's gone further from him. He hasn't moved.
Yeah, he hasn't changed.
You're the one who's moved.
Yeah.
He's the one who stays consistent. We're the ones who change, and it's remaining like consistent. It's like consistency is so incredibly important in your relationship with God, and I think that's to say with any relationship, but especially your relationship with God.
Yeah.
And if you're not remaining consistent, how are you supposed to expect to be consistently strengthened?
Yeah.
And when you're going in seasons like this, you're not going to be strengthened if you're not consistent.
Yeah. Well, and he's always going to be at the dinner table preparing new food. He's going to be there preparing new fruits of the spirit, new like stuff for your garden that's in your heart. But it's, are we going to take it and eat it? And like, I kind of like got convicted a couple months ago. Like, one of my friends like heard from the Lord about me and was like Jesus has been sitting there waiting. And it's like, I think so often as like Gen Z, like we get so latched onto our phone and we get so like focused on like, oh, TikTok, the newest trend, like Instagram, oh, my friends, oh, this and that, like my boyfriend, my girlfriend, or whatever. But it's like we can so easily make that an idol that we forget to even spend time with our Father and actually eat like what he's been giving us. And I know that sounds weird saying eat what he's been giving us, but like, how are you supposed to have the fruits of the spirit if you're not sitting at the dinner table and learning like what he's trying to teach you? Like, there's so many instances where the Lord is like, well, actually, no, he's constantly sitting there waiting for you. But again, like, so many people are too lazy to get up from their bed that they just sit there and doom scroll. It's like, girl, no wonder you're like frustrated that you're not hearing from the Lord. You haven't gotten up to eat your dinner and spend time with your father.
Your dinner.
Like,
Eat that dinner. And I think too, we're expecting like these big extravagant things, these big revelations or whatever
yeah,
it may be, and we're like, we pray to God like, oh God, I need you to give me this big sign. I need you to
yeah,
show me this and
right.
this, and I need you to speak to me. Literally, he left us like this. He left us a whole book.
Yeah.
Like he left us the
This is
whole
your life guide.
entire Bible. Like, and we're asking him to speak to us, but if we're not even in the word where he is
Yeah.
trying to speak, how are we supposed to even hear him when he speaks audibly to us?
Yep.
That's not going to happen. If you can't even connect with the written word, you're not going to be able to connect with his audible word.
Yep. And for my life specifically, like what I've had to do recently is like, because there's times where I'm so busy that like I'm literally busy from 7 a.m. to 6:30 or 8. And there's times where my friends are like doing something and I literally have to be like, oh, I promised the Lord I'd go and spend time with him. And that's where I think people kind of like don't know what to do in those situations because it's so easy to get FOMO. We are all FOMO, like, oh, I hate missing out on things. And trust me, I'm that way too. But it's all about priority and like prioritizing your relationship with the Lord. Because like think about it this way, I tell people all the time, like if your boyfriend was at home preparing a beautiful dinner for you and waiting for you, but you're too busy to even come home, that you're just hanging out with all of your friends, like think about how that would make him feel. And that's the same way with the Lord. Like I could easily choose to just be like, oh God, I'll get to you later, like now I'm with my friends. But it's like, no, it's like choosing to be like, okay, I haven't spent time with the Lord today, I'm going to choose to leave that and go spend time with my father. Like that's just gonna, one, give you the peace that you've been searching for all day, and two, fill you back up. Because our garden can feel so empty a lot, like, and I know I talk about gardens a lot, but like the less time you spend time with God, like the more weeds you're gonna get, and you're not gonna get those flowers if you're not being watered and you're not watering the seeds.
Yeah, that's good. And just as like July was saying, when it comes to discipline, I think it's important to understand that there's so many different aspects to discipline.
Yeah.
Like when in one of my classes right now, I'm learning about like all of the different like spiritual disciplines.
Yeah.
And I think obviously like being in your word is a big one. But like just the discipline of spending time with God is so important. And in Hebrews 12:11, it says, no discipline is enjoyable when it's happening, it's painful. But afterward there will be peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. And I think also it's important to understand that our discipline changes with the season we're in. Because the season that worked for us, the discipline that worked for us in our last season is not going to work for us in this next season. Because it was tailored towards what you were dealing with in that season. And if you're continuing with that, obviously we hold on to the things we're disciplined in, but we're supposed to grow and discipline ourselves even more. We're supposed to, it's like when you're working out, once you get comfortable with one weight, you have to add more weight to get stronger. And that's the same with discipline. You don't stay where you're at. You continuously discipline yourself with, okay, I'm not going to stick to reading just one chapter a day. Like it's because that becomes too comfortable and there's no growth in that. And it's also like, how are you supposed to fight certain battles with God if you're not growing in God? Because God is a constant God. He's a God that's constant. Like you are always learning something the more time you're spending with him. So if you're not growing, that means you're not spending the right kind of time with him and you're not having the right kind of discipline with him.
Yeah. And discipline turns into desire. Like I think so often, like discipline, we think of it as a bad thing. Like your mother shaming you, your mother like being mad at you, or like, like when you get in trouble, like you get grounded or something like that. But like, no, like I think specifically like when you choose to be disciplined in a chaotic season, that's when you begin to yearn for that time with the Lord and you begin to like desire just alone time with the Lord, like it's so like amazing because even like you can be so busy, but then you get excited to be like, yes, I get to spend time with my Father. And it even says, it's crazy, I wasn't even supposed to, like, I was just looking down, but I have it circled where it said, I cried out in my distress and the Lord hears my voice. Like the Lord knows your voice. And I think so often, like when we don't have the discipline in spending time with God, like yes, reading your Bible, but also praying. Because when you pray to the Lord, like that's you communicating to him, and not only that, but he understands your voice. Like he's a personal God who understands everyone's voice is different, and so when you speak, he sees your heart. And I think it's so important, again, like just once you're disciplined, that's when you begin to really not only allow the Lord to hear your voice, but you hear his voice. And then those chaotic seasons become not so chaotic because you're actually holding the Lord's hand throughout it all.
Yeah, that's good. And I think too it's important like that we understand who God is through that. Like God is a jealous God. And just like Jonah and the whale, he's gonna find his way.
Yeah.
He will. It doesn't matter what we want. Like obviously he cares what we want, but he's a jealous God. He does not want to share. He wants what he wants, and he's gonna get what he wants. And it's either we have the choice of following him and his will of what he has for us, or we're gonna go the long way and still end up there because he's gonna get what he wants.
Yeah, it's kind of up to you, really, like which path you take and how. Like, okay, think about like a GPS. When the GPS gives you like 3 different routes, one's like 20 minutes, one's 25, one's 30, and you have the choice to pick which one like gets you there. And I think with like your walk with the Lord and like stuff like that season, it can be so easy like to run away like Jonah and run away and hop on a boat. But like literally Jonah still ended up in a whale, and that kind of realigned him, but it took him longer than it would have taken him if he just chose to be obedient with the Lord and say yes to him. So it's like, and there's a lot of situations where God is calling us to something and we can either say yes or we can say, oh no, God, and run away. But God's still going to find a way to get you there. It's just really up to you how long that takes.
Yeah, and we have our choice of harvest.
Yeah.
Like, we have free will. God has given us free will. And every action we do, like if we're going back to July's picture of a garden, like every action we have, everything we do is a seed we're planting.
Yeah.
But we get to choose what kind of seed we're sowing. And it's important to make sure we're sowing the right seeds.
Yeah.
Like, because we may be doing like this little action and being like, oh, it's not that big deal. But that's just a seed that was planted, and it may sprout something that you don't even want in your garden. And to make sure we're getting the right harvest, we have to make sure we're aligning ourselves with God. And I think that goes back to just like discernment and everything, like really focusing on like, God, am I doing what you want me to be doing? And I think also too, setting your heart in a posture of like, I don't care what I'm going through. Like, I don't care how hard this is. Like, but God, if I'm in your will.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that matters to me. God, you created me for the very purpose to glorify you. And I am nothing without you.
Yeah.
But if I'm walking in your will, none of this matters to me because I know I have eternity with you.
Yeah. I think when you have this like your eyes so fixed on the Lord, like it doesn't matter what's going on in the world, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, like all that matters is that you're with him. And that you like have this relationship with the Lord where nothing can tear it apart. Like it's so crazy because it's like when the more you spend time with the Lord, like you just have this like awe of him that like you don't really get as frustrated with the chaotic seasons that you're in, but rather like you honestly are more thankful for the hard seasons because you know that these grow you, and these seasons are meant to grow you into who you're going to become. And so honestly for me, sometimes like you're gonna get frustrated, but honestly it makes me excited knowing that like the Lord chose to allow me to go through this so that I can be prepared for what he's calling me to be.
Yeah. And even too, like, there was a point where I was going through like a really hard spot and I was praying and I even shared like I'd written down what I prayed and I shared it with July. But it was like still thanking God in the chaos.
Yeah.
Like because like I remember I started it off by like God, I'm hurting, but still I know you're good.
Yeah.
Like in shifting our heart to like God, this is what I'm dealing with, but you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Like thank you for still being good. Thank you for still being like a miraculous God. Thank
Yeah.
you for still being kind. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
still giving me grace. Like even though I'm going through this, thank you for still being with me.
Yeah.
Because I think once you shift your heart into that posture of like, God, I don't care what I'm going through. Like I don't care how much this hurts. Like, but as long as I have you.
Mm-hmm.
Because he never allows that to go in vain.
No.
And there's a verse in Isaiah 43:19, and it says, "For I'm about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland."
Yeah.
And like we have to remember seasons are seasons for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's only temporary. Like God is never going to allow us to go through hard times. He's never going to allow us to be pushed if there isn't something coming out for us.
Yeah. Well, and think about like a rainstorm, like they can be so like devastating, like hurricanes and stuff, but always at the end there's a rainbow.
Yeah.
And that's just like God's promises. Like
Yeah.
there's always going to be these
So-
hard times, but always in the end of it, like God reigns above it all, and He always has a plan for you above all of the hurt you've gone through and all of the pain you've gone through. And we always talk about it in like pretty much all of our podcast like episodes, but like all of your pain and your chaos and like those seasons turn into your testimony, and you never know how God's going to use that season. Like we just have to, again, like how I was saying earlier, it's all about your mindset.
Yeah.
Like God is almighty and He knows what you can handle, and we have to let Him take over. We can't, don't take the reins. Allow Him to take it while you're in those seasons.
Yeah, because he'll take it back.
Yeah. Oh, for real.
He'll take it back.
For real.
And
But
it's
if
just gonna take longer.
Yeah.
Just making it harder on yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you're in a season where it feels like you're so busy, prioritize God.
Yeah.
Because the more you prioritize God, the less it feels so stressful.
Yeah. And it'll give you that peace. Like because like we both said, like we're both in a very busy season.
We barely
Like-
hang out with each other.
People are always like, we haven't seen you in a long time. But like for us, like we went from seeing each other like almost every day to once a week.
Yeah. And I tell people, I'm like, oh, I get to see Kate. It's like, you just saw her last week. I'm like, yeah, but I used to be able to see her every day. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a new season for us, and we're still trying to figure it out.
I think the biggest thing for us is we've been seeking God through it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's kept us going.
Yeah. And you're like the time you spend with the Lord in secret, like it fuels you for the time, like what you're going through. Like the more you spend time with the Lord in your secret place with Him, like that's the feel you get to push through.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
thanks
for sticking with us in our Go with the Flow episode.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely a Go with the Flow.
We definitely went with the flow.
Flow rider.
Okay.
We're tired.
Oh, it's been a long day.
Yeah, for both of us. But you know, it's okay because God is good. Well, stay tuned
for this is episode 13.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cool. We're getting close to 20.
That's insane. And it's funny too because like we've had this podcast going since August. So it's like that's pretty good.
Hey, we hit 6 months.
Yeah, go us.
Yeah, go us.
Yeah. Well, we hope you guys have a great rest of your week, your day, your night, your morning, your afternoon.
Whenever you may be listening to it. Seamus, if you're in the shower. Juju, if you're at the gym.
This is your sign to go read your Bible.
Yeah.
If you haven't already today.
Yeah. Prioritize God.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Well, see you in the next episode.
I don't think this is going to work.
I don't think so either. But we still need to, I think.
Maybe. Oh, no.
Aw.
Ready? Oh, I didn't count down. 1, 2, 3.